So the three things I was working on today, one was getting that weightless or like effortless pumping. So I watched a couple of really awesome videos of, about how to glide like that to conserve energy, and really pitching the board up and down at the right time, and pushing with the back and the front feet at the right time. So that was the first thing. And I felt a lot like I did have a couple runs there where it did feel like effortless, which is weird because it usually feels like so much work. The second thing was turning. How do you turn under control without getting into a bank? So I was able to do that a bunch of times. And then, yeah, there's Rob yelling to me from the dock. So here I was trying to do that hop, you know, as I got thrown there. Yeah, the third thing was trying to glide. So pump, 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 get high in the mast, and then glide. So you'll see me do it sometimes here where I'm just gliding just to see what it feels like just to glide without pumping. And you can see I'm really trying to pitch the board up and down, up and down, up and down, rather than just always just pumping. And there I'm doing like a little glide there. And it was a little bit difficult today because it was really squidgy out there. There was a lot going on with like there was a lot of energy in the water, like it was churning and the current, and it was windy and there was bluster. Like it was kind of like it was mixed up. It was hard to make. Once I got out of this little area here where you can see it's pretty flat, as soon as I get to about there, it started getting all squidgy, and out in the channel it was really like I just lose lift and weird things like that. But I feel really good about the launches. I'm getting up quick now, and you can see I'm hopping there. I was experimenting with getting really high on the mast, and there's a fine line. If you get too high on the mast, you're practically breaching and you're really unbalanced, and that's not good either. So you want to be high on the mast without being too high on the mast, if that makes sense. You can see my back foot rising up there as I'm trying to do that. This is one of my earlier ones where I was trying to like just get the feel of that effortless pumping. And here I was trying pumping really fast. I think I was trying to vary the cadence to see if that made a difference. Yeah, so I was able to like do some turns there and change direction and then keep on going. Although going, you know, with the current, you lose, and the wind was in my face there, you lose a lot of speed. And here Rob was trying to teach me how to turn without getting into a roll. That was my first try. It sucked. Now, here's where I was trying to do what he was saying with the turn. Like, try to do the turn. Oh, no, that was when I ran out of gas, ran out of height. I think this is the one when I tried to do a little bit of a turn. Yeah. So I did a turn, and I didn't get into a roll, and I turned all the way around, yeah. I was able to make it back, almost back into the frame of the camera there. Here's where I was doing the effortless pumping. So at one point I switched to go to more to the end of the dock because it was getting pretty sketchy and pretty shallow in the kiddie pool there. So I mostly was just practicing turning out in the channel there. But man, the water was just, it felt like it was just churning underneath the board. It would lose lift at random times, and and get bumped up at different times, and it was pretty challenging. But I got like maybe like 25-second runs a few times. So here I'm turning into the current to try to get a little bit of lift, but then the wind's blowing on me and I started losing speed and just ran out of gas. You see, I adjusted my front foot there, you know, when I was weightless. So getting a little better at recovering from a bad launch. It's still not very smooth. Here I was trying to do a turn and then come back to where I started. And I was able to make it around. Didn't quite make it back there. I made the turn, I didn't quite make it all the way around. So here I was trying to double and light and heavy, light and heavy, light and heavy. That seemed to work pretty well, I guess, but I'd really rather get into like a single pump like cadence, not like a heavy, soft, heavy, soft, heavy, soft, you know? So I was experimenting with a lot of different things here. Glide, pumping and gliding. And yeah, and there's one where I made a circle and came around. And turning and how far you have to lean, which is not very far to turn, especially on a big wing like this. You turn, if you lean too far, you're going to get into an uncontrollable bank. But I made it out into the channel like many times today. So like a good 20, 25-second run was pretty achievable. So I think the next thing I'm going to do is go to a lake to see if I can practice pumping on flat water conditions.